Hi, so I'm going to be talking about one of the health informatics articles from this week, the self-tracking biometrics article. So this article gave me a lot of insight of what is going on in this whole new shift in healthcare. It was really amazing to read about how people are now tracking their own health with wearables and being able to log what's going on within their life, and then being able to bring that to their doctors. I really think that's amazing because doctors can then get a holistic view of what's going on with the patients. They can see not only what's going on when the patient's sitting right next to them, but what's been going on in the past week or 2 weeks or however long the symptoms have been going on, which personally I think could really help with like diagnosing patients and properly giving them the care that they need. I think this is really great and could really change the way that patients interact with their health and sort of take on a certain responsibility when it comes to tracking their health and paying more attention to these details of symptoms and what's going on within their lives. One of the cons that was talked about in the article was this digital divide that can be seen if this whole shift does take over, and how people who may not be super familiar with this technology or might not be able to afford it wouldn't be able to partake in this new shift that's going on with logging your health in at home and bringing it to the doctor. So I do think that's a very valid con, but I do believe that all of the other pros that were presented and how this can really just benefit everyone, I think that kind of outweighs the con, and I really hope to see this shift continue and see where the healthcare industry goes, and how technology can be integrated within there.
So, this week I'm going to be discussing the article Personal Tracking as Live Informatics. Just an overview, it's an article that looks into how different groups of people utilize tracking technology. I found this article super interesting because it decided to incorporate a wide range of different people with different occupations, exercise routines, or different dietary habits. For example, some of the participants in the study were training for a marathon, as others focused on just walking for daily exercise. It is almost impossible to base personal informatics off of one group of people or just one individual because everyone has such different habits. Like, for example, personally, it's really hard for me to keep up with a routine, whether it be for if I'm prescribed medication or inputting calorie intake. As for someone else, it may be super easy for them to continuously put in every meal into the app on their phone. Overall, I feel that personal tracking as live informatics can be super beneficial for analyzing and collecting data, but it does have to include a wide range of individuals.
One of the drawbacks of personal trackers is that they are not used regularly. I think that the act of logging in every part of your data can be time consuming and cumbersome for app users. This can probably explain why trackers are not used for more than a couple of months, as cited by the study. The research study also mentions 5 types of personal tracking, which can include directive tracking, documentary tracking, diagnostic tracking, collecting rewards, and fetish tracking. App users utilize these personal tracking methods to set goals, document their activity, and analyze activities to understand their health behaviors better. In particular, I think that collecting rewards for accomplishing certain achievements incentivizes app users and encourages them to sustain their actions. I believe that user recognition is beneficial from a business standpoint as well. When consumers are satisfied with their app experience and are being recognized for their accomplishments, this also bolsters the credibility and name recognition of the app. The research article also makes another important point by stating that there is a sociality to personal tracking, meaning that people share their data and personal results to social media, and this data is accessible to other people using the app. In my opinion, the drawback of this is that sharing data may not be HIPAA compliant. While personal tracking can espouse friendships, motivation, and encouragement, especially when you interact with other people, I think that the ethical considerations need to be further looked into. Ultimately, I believe that a big takeaway from this study is to understand that lived informatics is not just about analyzing data and crunching numbers. Rather, it is that data is affixed to personal goals and helps us reach a certain sense of fulfillment.